today with Chef Raphael Lunetta of JiRaffe Restaurant in Santa Monica, California. We're so happy to have you participate this year at Project by Project's 8th annual tasting benefit at the California Science Center on August 14th.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be part of it.
So just to get a little background, what inspired you to become a chef and open up JiRaffe?
I think probably just the enjoyment. From a very young age, I just enjoyed going out to dinner and trying many different types of cuisine, whether they were local or whether they were ethnic cuisine. We would go out and eat dinner and try different foods, and it just seemed like that was a good way to fulfill, pleasure, enjoyment, and also learn new things.
That's true.
So, has cooking always been your passion?
Cooking and surfing have always been my passion, and I think because you're in the water all day, and there's really not a better way to enjoy a good meal if you're really hungry. And spending time in the ocean and getting out of the water and going out and trying and sampling food, it just seems like the flavors just pop out a lot more, and you can just really get into the food, really get into it quite a bit more. So that's kind of where there are two different passions very much, so surfing and cooking, but they actually kind of link together when you think about, and the other thing is also putting yourself out in the ocean and putting yourself in the kitchen. You're dealing with, situations where you have to kind of figure things out on your own, and that's the other part of similarity.
So what's your favorite item on the menu?
That's a good question, and that's a question that I would probably have to say changes all the time. Tonight is our bistro Monday night, and we're doing a crispy potato wrapped big eye tuna with a roasted tomato and ginger chutney, and a very simple salad of rainbow radish and cilantro and a little bit of haricot there. And then we're doing another dish tonight, which is a play on a salad lardon au frisé, which is a classic French salad of Italian bib frisé with a poached egg. And what I'm going to try to do on the bottom of that is just add some barbecue lentils. So I've got some little French green lentils that are on the fire right now. I'm going to make a homemade barbecue sauce, and I'm going to put that on the bottom. I think the lardon, they've got bacon with the lentils on the bottom, is a different take on that dish. But I think it's going to work very nice when you get to the bottom and the egg yolk cracks and gets into the bottom of the lardon and the lentils and the salad. It's a little bit more of a warming, soothing dish. So I guess the dish has always changed. So tonight will be the big eye tuna with the potato wrapped big eye tuna and the salad frisé. And then we're also doing a halibut tonight that is really a big play on the farmer's market. So I guess tonight, and actually I'm trying something with polenta. It's a long question to see. We're doing a regular polenta, but we're putting fresh corn into the polenta. It's a fresh corn polenta. So it's a play on a polenta, a lamb shank with polenta, and we're adding fresh corn to it. So I think that will be so all the dishes today on today's bistro menu I've never done, but I'm excited about them, and I think that they're going to be good dishes. So today those will be some of my dishes that I'm pretty excited to see how they come out.
Can you go a little more into the farmer's market aspect of JiRaffe?
Yeah, the farmer's market aspect of JiRaffe is I just try to go and pick items that I think would work with dishes that with ingredients that we have here, and I just try to play a little bit with the seasons and try to keep things as fresh as possible. And just use as many items as we can that work together. But for us, we're quite fortunate because we have one of the best farmers markets just blocks from the restaurant, and I also have a farmers market about a block away from where I live. So for tonight's bistro menu, there's a lot of influence from the farmers market. But I went to the farmers market by my house yesterday to get all of those ingredients, and then we're going to do Wednesday and Saturday farmers market for the weekend here.
So, as our VIP chef, what can we expect to see from you at our plate-by-plate?
Well, I'm honored to be your VIP chef first of all. So
we're honored to have you.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to have been chosen. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a play on a kind of a BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato. We're going to find these little beautiful, sweet heirloom cherry tomatoes from either one of three different farmers. We try to participate and kind of just shift around and use different farmers. And those will be simply heated up with a orange tomato, kind of a raw sauce. It's kind of tomatoes that are blended with a little bit of orange juice. And then you have this bright orange kind of tomato coulis, but it's really a raw tomato water, let's say, puree. And we heat the tomatoes in with that, and then we add a little bit of fresh basil, and that also on the bottom, and then we'll pan roast a small piece of halibut. We'll add a little bit of our homemade kind of aioli that we make, like a kind of mustardy aioli, and then we'll do some oven-dried tomatoes with bacon and croutons on top. And then we'll finish that in the oven, and then we'll make some nice little lettuce leaves that look like the romaine lettuce, but they look like beautiful little leaves. So there's crunch, there's bread, there's tomatoes, there's bacon, and the protein is the fish, which is a very nice flaky Alaskan halibut.
So what do you think distinguishes JiRaffe from other restaurants in Los Angeles?
Well, we've been open 15 years now, and it's interesting, it's a good question. After 15 years, I do actually feel that sometimes we do have to make some adjustments. And I think one of the dishes that we're doing at Project by Project and what we're doing on Bistro tonight are reflections and our thoughts of things that I have to do to continually try to make the restaurant interesting for our regular guests without offending them, because they like all of the old staple things, but we also have to give them something different, and we have to also always think about bringing new people in. And one way of doing that is by doing things like the Bistro Monday, playing with dishes, and then if we like them, then they go on the menu. So to really answer your question, what distinguishes JiRaffe from being different from other restaurants is, I think, consistency would be the number one reason why we're still in business. Consistency, a warm, kind feeling when you come in here. It's a family, I mean, it's in a sense, it's a family-run restaurant. I'm the chef and the owner. We're not run by a corporation, so the food has its own character and its own individualism.
Okay, so last question. What is your favorite food?
What is my favorite food? Right now, today, my favorite food would be tomatoes. I will try to do tomatoes many different ways, like the roasted tomato chutney change it tonight, or the tomatoes that we're doing in the dish on the 14th.
Okay.
That's going to be, those tomatoes are going to be beautiful. There's tomatoes, there's 3 different kinds of tomatoes in there. There's this tomato juice that we spoke about, there's this oven-dried tomato on the crust, and then there's the fresh tomatoes that go in there. So right now, today, the tomatoes would be my favorite ingredient, my most preferred ingredient to use are tomatoes right now.
Okay.
Yeah, tomatoes are beautiful, and you can do so much with them. You can roast them, you can make a sauce, you can make a very different sauce than the traditional tomato sauce. You can just do so much with tomatoes. And tomatoes are so flavorful, and they're such a familiar flavor to people. We do it in the front, we do it in the back, we kind of just, in the front of the taste, or somewhere hidden in the back where people go, oh, what's that? It's, tomato water. There's a lot of things you can do, but it's not red, it's white. It looks like regular water, but it tastes like tomato. There's a lot of things you can do with tomatoes.
Well, this concludes our interview, and on behalf of Project by Project, we just want to thank you and let you know that we really appreciate it. And we are looking forward to having you on our Plate by Plate tasting benefit on August 14th.
Thank you, it's my pleasure, and I look forward to being there.